After this interview, 2 days afterwards, she filed documents to drop her client that's suing Diddy. However, she's gonna speak to supposed supposedly a tape that exists that features Diddy and another high-profile person who were unknowingly recorded. I gave you a background just for context, but listen to this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab some more soda, okay?
Acted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow. Can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video was pornographic in nature.
Oh, my. All right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, did he? And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes. This was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video. So it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I wanted to ask you about the police report we talked about, but when your client came out, obviously the neighbor knew. Did she talk to her family? Did she talk to her friends? Did she have another lawyer? Let's go back to your client.
So at the time, as most rape victims are, they feel a lot of shame.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to vocalize what happened to them because then it makes it real. So they kind of internalize it and get over it. Mm-hmm. And due to the high profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. Mm-hmm. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name. So she didn't feel any confidence that revealing his name would have done anything.
Sure, sure. I mean, but there's a police report.
Yeah.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes. As soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the criminal complaint that was made. I'll attach the number so everyone can see that this is a real number and can go to the police department there and request their own copy of that police report that was made back in 2018.
Well, that's going to be a huge deal when it happens, obviously, so we want to follow up on that. Did Mr. Combs have any reaction? Do you know if he was interviewed? I mean, he was named in the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, And women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Right. Well, your client should be proud of herself for filing that claim and making that call and going for help, because that's a huge deal. And of course, these are allegations. We want to say that. What was it like for you when you got this phone call, when you realized what you were going to be stepping into?
After talking to her, I just wanted to protect her. I just wanted to help her. She seemed as somebody very broken by this experience. And it was very concerning for me to hear her saying these things and expressing this very deep trauma associated with what happened to her. I just wanted to make sure that, number one, she was heard and we can get her voice to the masses, and maybe Mr. Combs will actually, like right now we're starting to see, will actually face some type of consequences for what he's done.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find
Amazing. I love it. I'm muted. Okay, perfect. Okay, don't worry. It's all good. I'll do it again. So, I want to keep in mind this lawyer who is now saying that there's a tape on the market that people could bid on that actually contains Diddy and somebody else in a sexual activity. She was representing a client who also said that Diddy sexually assaulted them. The young woman that was saying that Diddy assaulted them, that she was representing, by the way, this is a lawyer, she dropped, or she's motioned to the court that she wants to drop the client. Basically saying the client ain't listening, things seem a little funny, and you can make your own assumptions whether you think that the lawyer is starting to call cap, or the lawyer just feels that the client is difficult to work with. Either or, it's very important that she was very important to this whole narrative before 2 days ago But afterwards, she's trying to drop her current client. Anyway, she goes on about this whole thing saying that there was a high-profile person unknowingly recorded and that she was hit up to broker said conversation or said sale, if that was going to be the thing. I played it before, but I'll play it in part.
So, which I declined that because wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So,
okay, stop it right there. Now, I told you about her as a lawyer. Her current client, well, not her current client. She wants out, and she wants to separate from her current client. Okay. We're also going to go back to her. I just remember this now. Piers Morgan Jaguar Wright. I believe she's also the third person who's on this broadcast. That's her, right? Yes, right? That's her? Exactly. Remember, Jaguar Wright said all this stuff about Jay-Z. Vlad came in saying, yo, Jaguar Wright, we don't believe her. Then this attorney speaks again. But let's speak about the possibly existence of a tape that contains Diddy having sex or in a sexual activity or a sexual scene with another man. And that man happens to be, we don't know. People are assuming it's Justin Bieber, but we don't know. Let's just speak about that in general, okay? And this is where I bring up the New York Post article. Diddy shopped around. Okay, my computer's acting a little bit slow. I apologize. But the New York Post did post that an A-list star is being horrified as the alleged Diddy sex tape gets pushed to media outlets. He feels like he was victimized years ago. The male A-list celebrity who is the subject of an alleged sex tape with Sean Diddy Combs is horrified that the footage is being shopped around to media outlets. Two of the star's inner circle tells the Post. It's triggering, says one of the insiders. It's like a betrayal and violation. It's causing a lot of issues. It brings up some really disturbing and bad memories. More than one person is hawking the incriminating footage, which shows a man who appears to be Combs having sex with a younger male. Oh, wow. That's homosexual, isn't it? Who appears to be A-lister. Both of their faces are clearly visible in the footage. Wow. Off this paragraph alone, it says Diddy was either engaged in oral, anal, well, I guess if it's sex, it's anal, because it's a man. Yeah, oral sex or anal sex with this man. Whatever combination you want to put it. Whether you think he was sucking Diddy off, Diddy was sucking him off, Diddy was getting piped by him, or he was piping Diddy out. That's what is being alleged by the New York Post. It's a total nightmare, says the insider. Feels like he was victimized years ago and now being victimized again. If this footage gets out, it will follow him for life. It will be on the internet forever. A second source close to the celebrity says that the Post told the Post that he's trying to ignore the chatter about the video. There's not much he could do about it. There was a video taken without his knowledge that somehow gets out, so all he could do is pray. He's praying that all this goes away. Now, let's just first and foremost talk about a sex tape. And these are the questions I have. This seems odd. Any media outlet that would buy a tape, and let's think about the worst things first. Is this male underage? Let's assume it was. If any media outlet even entertained, or if anyone even tried to sell footage of allegedly a underage male having sex with anyone, Diddy or anyone else, that would be highly illegal. Child pornography cannot be put up for any type of dissemination, whether free, whether with intent, whether for sale. It's strictly illegal. Anybody who would sell a video, let me stop this. Those sell a video that will contain an underage individual is also breaking the law. So we have to then say, well, maybe this person that was involved in the tape wasn't underage. Well, now let's think about that. Because if you're selling a tape, again, as I said, of someone underage getting fucked, or really, at this point, getting R-worded because they can't consent, that's highly illegal. You're going to jail. You don't have to be on a tape. If you're selling it, you're going to... If the sale of child pornography is highly illegal and highly prosecuted. So I'm guessing they're not underage. Cool. But let's keep on this train of thought. Someone is trying to sell a tape of an individual who's a male that's overage. But from what we read, they say that the video wasn't consented to, or they didn't agree that that video would be then disseminated. That's where I draw my questions. Well, let's talk it out. How do sex tapes work when it comes to highly publicized individuals? Well, we could talk about the Kim K and we could talk about the Ray J sex tape. How did that come about? These are some fun facts, and I think you guys know this. Someone had gotten a hold of a supposed lost footage of Ray J and Kim K having sex on a vacation they took. I believe it might have been in Cabo. At that point, that video was shopped around to Vivid. Vivid had a contingency deal to say if they could get Ray J and Kim K to agree to its dissemination, they would pay up and they would put it on sale. Note, if you have a sex tape of an individual, I don't care who it is, if you put it out, you are open and liable to all type of lawsuits. Revenge porn, breach of privacy. There's so many different ways. You can't just put out a video that you have of two people having sex. Don't work like that. Especially when the video was filmed in a non-commercial setting and there was an expectation of privacy that maybe only the person who filmed it, let's say you're the woman and it's the guy who filmed it, only the guy would have access to it. So how did the Kim K Ray J tape get out? Well, Vivid got it. They got a contingency deal to say if they could get approval. And they basically went to what we now know as Kris Jenner. And they said, yo, there's a video of your daughter and this guy. They went to Ray J too. Y'all having sex. It's gonna come out. It's gonna leak. Here's your options. It leaks. Y'all are embarrassed. You have no control over it. And that's it. Or we release it. We pay you. We put it up for sale. And you agree that we could do this. And we're not violating your rights. Now, obviously, they wielded a bag like, yo, $2 million, $3 million, whatever. Now, that came with stipulations. If you go back to the Ray J tape, apparently they had to film or act like there was enough, like, because what they had wasn't enough for like a DVD. That was DVD times. So they had to film an additional set of footage to put on a tape that could be sold. So essentially, they agreed to putting out the video. Then they created another video to sell. Now, when you watch all the tapes, they all look organic. So it's like, oh, okay, they never like created this for the camera, and they didn't. I think there's 3 tapes. 2 of them were organic, and then 1 was after the fact to make sure it was a full DVD. Why did I say that? Well, I said that because if this is an A-lister we're talking about, okay, maybe it will leak, right? But why is this person so concerned as if this thing could actually be shopped? Like, which media entity would buy it without the consent of the parties on it? You'd be an idiot to buy it because you can't make no money off of it. So say you spend $200,000, you buy the thing. You can't make no money off of it if Diddy and the other A-lister don't approve of it going out. So you got to go pay them, and it's clear that they're rich as fuck. They don't want it to go out. So why would you then buy it, period? So then it makes me think, well, maybe they're thinking about it might be leaked. Well, here's the thing too. If we don't know if this individual is a potential victim, why would you even involve or try to entertain leaking of such footage? And that's my full thoughts about this whole thing, about this tape allegedly being sold. I don't know. I do think tapes exist. Are people bidding on them? For me, it's for what? You'll never be able to profit on those tapes. Those tapes are at some point going to be fodder or evidence that's going to be subpoenaed in a criminal trial. So why would you buy it, period? But who knows? That's my thought, okay? Now, people think this is Justin Bieber. I have to believe that Justin Bieber's sources wouldn't be talking to the New York Post. And if they actually even reasonably thought this was a thing, they would start flying off lawsuits and cease and desist and injunctions and, doing a lot of things to make sure this doesn't come out. So it's hard for me to even believe that it's Justin Bieber on this tape with Diddy. Regardless, it is specifically identified that Diddy's having sex with this guy. Now, let's even continue to go down that road. How did they get this footage? If Diddy was recording exclusively, how does one video get out but not the rest? Maybe there are more. Where are the other videos? Does any of the other videos show anything that could implicate other people or anything that is definitely crucial to like an investigation? We don't know. But we're hearing about this, okay? This is going back to this lawyer who subsequently spoke. She's the one who says she's seen the video, but she spoke after Vlad and Jaguar, right? Listen to this.
DJ Vlad, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm joined now by Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who's a lawyer for one of Diddy's alleged victims. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. There are so many people coming forward now with allegations about Diddy. What do you think about the scale of this case?
Well, before I get into that, I kind of want to address the prior two panelists. First with Mrs. Jaguar White. She said a lot of things that were very jarring in her explanation of what she saw and had firsthand accounts on. My concern for her, she's saying a lot of things that could be considered libelous.
Right.
And I would suggest that she contacts an attorney, if only to vet the information she has or purports to have from other victims. At least they can protect her, and then they can also do their due diligence, the attorneys, to make sure that the information she's receiving is accurate outside of the things that she knows and may have proof of. I was very concerned about some of the things that she had said in her prior segment. I also want to address Mr. Vlad, who I know to be a culture vulture, who takes from the Black community and doesn't give back and puts artists in situations where then they are indicted by the police. And he's very much so what we call police type investigation in the Black community. And for him to repudiate what Mrs. Wright has said, I thought was completely out of line. He can say he doesn't agree, which is fine, but for him to be someone who constantly uses the Black community and uses them as a means for his platform, I thought that was very inconsiderate and unprofessional. Now, to get to your question that you asked of me regarding the victims, there are victims coming out every day, even someone who contacted me last night. So, and it's only standing to be more individuals coming out. I do talk to some of the other attorneys who represent victims that we already have known because they filed cases, who have additional victims who plan to come forward and they plan to file cases against very soon. So it's only a matter of how many more are going to come out, and it seems to be, it'll be very many more.
You've said that you've been contacted regarding the sale of one of the Diddy freak-off tapes, and that it features a very high-profile celebrity. What can you tell us about that?
So actually, I recently was contacted by one of my business partners who's also an attorney, who said to me, well, why are we not writing the demand letter to try to do the catch and kill? And I said, well, if you want to do it, then I'll connect you and you can essentially do it. He was.
So a catch and kill, from my understanding, is like a thing where, you know, people pay for things to not come out, right? So it's circulating on, you know, someone shopping it. And rather than some other person buying it, the person who would be implicated in the video says, hey, I'll give you a price for it not to come out, right? And that's what that would be.
Also concerned about wanting to protect the other person who was in the film, mainly because I've known about this for about 3.5 weeks to about a month. I've been communicating with these people who purport to have that videotape. And it wasn't until Thursday night that they outright said, can you write on your letterhead a letter to the individual who's also in the tape and see if they're interested in a catch and kill? And is that something, we'll give you X amount of percentage of it. And at the time I was like, I don't think I want to be involved in this, but I hadn't had time to process. But the other attorney I'm speaking of, he's pretty much been in the know the entire time since I first got contacted by these individuals with the tape. And we're pursuing now a meeting with the three of us for us to broker, I guess, a situation where we'll have certain guarantees that once we make the representations to the person in the tape, that we have some level of assurances that this is a valid tape.
And just to be clear, two thoughts about this. One, is it a household name that we're talking about here? And secondly, are they engaged in any criminality from what you understand?
Household name, very much so. More of a household name than Mr. Combs.
What?
Okay, who's more of a household name than Diddy? I don't even know if Jay-Z is more of a household name than Diddy. I assume Justin Bieber is. This clearly just screams. Sorry, this clearly screams Justin Bieber. Usher to me isn't a more household name than Diddy. I mean, we're talking about Drake, Beyonce, even Jay-Z. I'm like, is it more of a household name than Diddy? Like, Diddy is just synonymous with pop culture and being like almost like this artist / boss in hip hop. Is Jay-Z more synonymous with hip hop than him, or more of a household name? I don't know. So all of these are things I'm thinking about. I really think it's definitely Justin Bieber. Somebody say Drake. Nah. Chris Rock, Will Smith. Nah. I think it's somebody in the music business, bro. Will Smith? Oh, I see a lot of y'all going outside of hip hop. Will Smith? Will Smith definitely would be a name. I don't know why I thought it was a hip hop person.
Wow.
And
Really?
criminality, they are engaged in pornography. They're not doing anything illegal per se. I can't say that well, I'll say this. My concern was that I could not verify the age of the individual. And so that was my concern about not having anything sent to me and viewing it in the way that I did via stills, via FaceTime video. So
Now, again, her talking about the video, she's saying she can't verify the age, which then complicates how could maybe not her herself personally, but how could anyone try to sell a tape when you don't know the person's age?
So I didn't want to have anything in my phone because my issue is we can't determine if this person is 17 to 21.
Right. Fascinating. It's been reported there could be a class action with over 50 alleged victims of Diddy. It also feels like there could be a lot more than that. Do you think, when you look at this case now, that he's ever going to come out of prison?
I do not think Mr. Combs will get out. I was not surprised that he did not get bond. I was saying from the beginning that I was fairly certain, due to my experience in the legal field, that he would not be getting bond and that he would be there until his court case. I also feel as if having a trial would not be in his best interest, and I'll explain why. Everything that comes out in that criminal trial will be used by not only me, but every other civil litigator who has a civil case against Mr. Combs. Everything that the federal government proves beyond a reasonable doubt, because they have a higher criteria to meet than we do. It's the preponderance of the evidence in civil court. So if we have the federal government, if you will, doing all of our heavy lifting for us in a very public trial, all of the discovery that is done will be very valuable, invaluable almost, to every civil attorney who is working on a civil case, which I believe we're about at 14, 15, outside of the other attorney who recently said that he has 50 individuals, and I don't know if he...
Yeah. So apparently we're hearing about this footage. Unfortunately, everybody involved in this situation seems more concerned with getting a bag than getting justice. There's a federal indictment open. If your first thought isn't, hey, I have a video of Diddy having sex with a seemingly young person in the industry who's a male, and I'm hearing all these things about him, whether true or not, let me just submit this videotape to the authorities, the feds, that they can review. If your first thought is, oh shit, let me sell this bitch, who want to buy this junk? It don't seem like you give a fuck about victims and some of the heinous things that Diddy's been accused of, right?
He actually has 50 people, or if that's a shock value number, I'd be curious to see once that filing comes out. I haven't seen it. I do know other attorneys who have several individuals that they are in the process.
Anyway.
Federal prosecutor.
Let me see if I can get to the, supposedly there was an escort who said something. Is it escort? Where is escort?
Press the victims, but they also arranged the freak-offs. Work on September.
Situation like this, it can be victims, it can be a meet.
The biggest
we're working with.
No. Or to say who it was, that they wouldn't have believed her when she initially made the report. And I've had that similarly happen to tell the court what I saw.
This is the same woman, by the way.
What I knew. They offered to send me screenshots through text messages, which I declined. And I ended up saying, well, let's FaceTime and then you can show me. This way I have a sense of no evidence or plausible deniability in terms of things that I've actually received.
Don't text me the video of Diddy fucking a guy. I don't want nobody to know. Don't send me a link. I don't want nobody to know. Don't text me the joint. I don't want nobody to know. Don't email me. I don't want nobody to know. But FaceTime me that I could look at it. Hopefully nobody will know. Except I'm going to go on the internet and tell everybody that you FaceTime me. And I hope nobody will know. What the fuck?
Were actually seen with my own two eyes. And in those couple of stills that they showed me was Mr. Combs and another very shocking, I would imagine, very jarring for a lot of people, individuals in a very pornographic nature.
So, Ariel, I have to push you a little bit on this. You've said it's somebody more high profile, and you're saying individuals, plural, more high profile than Sean Combs. I mean, are we talking more high profile in Hollywood? Are we talking a politician? I mean, what are we talking about here?
No, it's someone in the entertainment industry, and I would say this person is undisputably more famous than Mr. Combs. I don't think anybody would argue if they were to know.
Undisputably. Only people that come to mind. It's a male, right? Drake, Snoop Dogg, Justin Bieber, Will Smith, yeah. R. Kelly's not more famous than Diddy. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kanye West, Usher's not more famous than Diddy.
Who it was, that would be a true statement.
So the person in the video who's more high profile than Sean Combs, is this a man or a woman?
I'm not going to say.
You said before it was a man.
Now, I don't want to get too graphic, but I asked Mitchell Kidd about what else she could see in the video and who. And this is what prosecutors would call a freak off tape.
I can't see other people in the video. I can't determine. I actually called one of my other clients. When I got this call Thursday, they finally Thursday night called me and came out with it and said, we're ready to move forward with selling this tape. Can you broker the deal? We'll give you X percentage to sell this tape to the other individual in the tape. And I was like, let me.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So selling the tape to the other individual sounds like you're selling it to the other person to hope that it never comes out, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. We in 2024. Do y'all even believe in selling a tape to a nigga and it never coming out? This tape has probably been replicated, duplicated, digitized, and there's probably 1 million digital copies of it. So when you sell the copy to the guy, yeah, maybe you won't put it out, but that shit gonna still be on your computer, still be on your flash drive or hard drive. And who's to know it'll never come out? You get what I'm saying?
Let me, I don't know. I kind of really pulled back a lot and said, well, let me make some phone calls and I'll let you know. So one of the phone calls was to another client that I have who I know to have been a friend of the individual who they wanted to sell the tape to and was very close to that individual around the time the tape would have been made. So I wanted to get his perspective on what he felt, my client, how he felt about just everything in general. Would this be something that the other person would be interested in purchasing? Would this, how should I feel about participating in this? I'm talking to my client now to see if he's willing to talk about that conversation that we had. But I also feel like the minute he does that, everybody will automatically know who it is.
Have you ever been contacted about something like that before and asked to broker a deal?
Absolutely. I do this behind the scenes for several A-list celebrities, people who I would never tell you about or anybody else about because I'm paid very well to do this for them and to catch and kill a lot of things on their behalf. Things that either they may have gotten themselves into or somebody else got them into. So this is not something I'm a novice on. I've done it many a times before. However, this is a lot more high profile now that the feds are involved and the other individual. I'm actually more concerned for the other individual in the tape than I am Mr. Combs.
Why?
Now, you might be asking yourself, why is Ariel Mitchell Kidd making this public? The information about the videos with Sean Combs and somebody else.
And part of the reason why I made this statement Friday was, how do I say, I'm very concerned about the other person in the video. I was concerned that the individuals who contacted me to sell the video, if they were to do something, I didn't want anybody to say I had knowledge of something and I didn't say anything, one. And two, if something were to happen to me because of this knowledge that I had, I wanted it to be known that like, look at these people, because it'd probably be them who would have done something to me, not that.
Ma'am, you haven't told us who's the people. Did she just try to pull a, yo, if anybody do something to me, they did it? Okay, we get it, shorty. Who's they? Who's they? Did I miss that part, chat? Did she tell us who the people are who's put her up to this? How the hell are we supposed to know who the hell killed you if you die? If you don't tell us, oh, I'm just telling y'all right now that if anybody do something to me, they did it. Okay, who's they?
I'm per se fearful, but anything, it's been a crazy tipsy-topsy world, especially when we're talking about Mr. Combs.
Have you been threatened at all since you've become involved with, especially with Adria English, obviously, but have you received any threats?
I was threatened by Mr. Combs previously. So in my work with the Trey Songz case, I was told by several individuals, including a celebrity chef and some other people who were close to him, that if I didn't cease my persistence in that lawsuit and then the situation with Chris Brown, that my life was in danger.
Wow. Did you ever report that to law enforcement?
I did not. I didn't want to include the other people. I just bought more guns and then I moved out of the state.
I reached.
A lawyer who's a recognized damn near officer of the court is being threatened by people who, some, or at least one, is facing federal criminal charges. And asking her why she didn't report it, she said, nah, I'd rather buy more guns and move out of the state.
The situation with Chris Brown, that my life was in danger.
Wow. Did you ever report that to law enforcement?
I did not. I didn't want to include the other people. I just bought more guns and then I moved out of the state.
I reached out to.
You could tell even by that white woman's face. What the fuck? That's what you expect to hear from, like, why so Woody? Yeah, so Woody, what happened when you heard that niggas gonna put money on your head? Nigga, I just rode around my Glock. I don't recall. Like, that's what we expect to hear from him. She's a lawyer. What the fuck?
Wow. Did you ever report that to law enforcement?
I did not. I didn't want to include the other people. I just bought more guns and then I moved out of the state.
That one little face right there?
I want to include the other people. I just bought more guns and then I moved.
Look at her eyes. What?
Out of the state.
Come on, bro.
I reached out to Sean Combs' reps for comment on this new accuser, the video, and Mitchell Kidd's claims that Combs had previously threatened her when she sued him as part of the Trey Songz lawsuit. At the time of this recording, I have not received a response. Songz has denied the claims in that suit. Now back to Adria English, that adult entertainer who's suing Sean Combs, accusing him of sex trafficking her at his white parties from 2004 to 2009. Combs has denied he has sex trafficked anyone. I want to talk just briefly about Adria English, somebody that you filed suit on.
So this is her client, or potentially a former client, that she's now filing legal paperwork to drop.
On behalf of, in the last many months, it was in July, you're no longer representing her.
Unfortunately, me and Miss English had an issue with a violation, a breach of our contract. So I have had to stop my representation. Once we get to a point where I have a client breaching a contract, I have to end the representation.
If 12 civil lawsuits and 3 federal charges weren't enough, Sean P. Diddy Combs is now up against more than 100 new shocking accusations in his alleged sex trafficking scheme that spanned multiple decades. Diddy's fall from grace started nearly 1 year ago.
Okay. All right.
It shows to
Rossi for some more insight. So
people, they may be conducting grand jury testimony.
Now, I do want to. I do want to. I have a source, but I don't want to. I don't want this to be. I wouldn't hang my hat on this source, honestly. So I'm gonna say it as a rumor. Rather than say, "Oh, Ak has a source," I'll just say it's a rumor, and I'll say it's unsubstantiated until I hear more. I've seen a lot of people try to include Sean Carter in this. That's Jay-Z. I have heard that, hey, listen, number one, Jay-Z is well aware of these threats. When I mean threats, threats of litigation in a civil sense by people who have accused him of being around or indulging or being compliant or complicit with certain things. I have heard, again, the source isn't strong, so I want to let you know that allegedly the reason why we ain't see no lawsuit with the name Sean, not Sean. Well, yeah, it is Sean Carter. Is allegedly because he has settled. I don't know how many. I don't know what. And from what I was told, what Diddy failed to do, Jay is smarter with, and Jay has been proactive in doing. So rather than play chicken with these people and say, "Well, sue me then," he has handled some of these cases. Now, I don't know if these cases are all cases of sexual misconduct. I don't know. It could be a nigga who punched me back in the face back then. It could be somebody who said, yo, I got injured at your spot. Who knows? But from what I've heard, if you're wondering why we keep hearing Jay-Z's name, but we haven't seen his name in any paperwork or court documents, I've heard that Jay-Z is handling some of these situations, but allegedly he's fielding these situations in a way where you won't see anything. Which, with all things considered, whether you think he's a monster too or not, that is smart. So that's what I've heard. Again, think about this. You got to imagine, people would want to sue Jay-Z for some civil suits too. We haven't heard of one. Maybe he's selling out. Hey, take 100,000. Yo, go here. And you got to imagine, I think a lot of people call Diddy stupid for that. Yo, Diddy, if you got all this goddamn bread, why the fuck were you so damn cheap and didn't just shut the people up that could really ruin you? Now look where you at. So perhaps that's what Jay-Z's doing. I don't have 100% confidence on what this person said, but I am hearing that theory. Well, I'm calling it a theory, but the person actually said that. Yeah.
If they're looking at additional charges, they can't use the grand jury to build a case against the charges that are returned and approved already, but they can look at other charges. And that's what they're doing right now. And as I said in one of my earlier appearances with you, they're probably working 24/7, working Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. And for those prosecutors in the Southern District, this case will be consuming their life for at least the next 2 years.
And you know what was interesting to me?
So you can use them in your case.
We could see this soon, hopefully. But what does that mean for those people, celebrities who right now are thinking, okay, yeah, I was at a Diddy party back in the day. I did participate. What's going on for them?
I can tell you this. Those people you're talking about that may be co-defendants of Diddy, they know who they are. And they are not getting sleep right now. And they're probably getting attorneys because they're going to face a civil suit and possibly a criminal. And you could see the prosecutors in the Southern District, based on information in the civil suits, maybe adding a couple of co-defendants in the federal indictment. Now, if they do that...
Now, there's a lot of, so many moving parts to this at this point. I think after this Big Joe guy got sued, Gene Deal, who's been very vocal. Here we go. Where is it? Watch this.
My guy, Gene Deal, man. Happy to have you back, my man. Gotta ask you about your boy Diddy. How you feel about this lawyer named Tony Busby? He's saying that he got over 120 victims.
I believe it when I see it in the court documents. I believe it when I see it, on court television. I believe it. I believe it, bruh, because I don't believe it. I don't believe not 120 people, bruh. They just opening the floodgates. This is crazy, bruh. 120 people.
Now, this is kind of interesting because Gene Deal has been one of the very first people, along with him and Jaguar Wright, that's been saying, hey, there's some shit going on with Diddy. So it's kind of like Gene himself is saying, all right, I know I told y'all this nigga is guilty of some shit, but hold on. This is too much. Which that's kind of surprising because if Gene Deal, going from the words he's been saying that Diddy is a terror, a demon, he's a guy who's abused all these women, if we know this guy has ended up being a billionaire, why would you put a cap to the amount of people it could be? Like, for example, I do think 120 people or 3,000 people calling in to report something, even though 120 were only considered. I think it's all preposterous, but if I'm going off what I've heard and I'm going off this video with the Cassie thing, how could I rule anything out? This is why, I'm at a place where, some of these stories sound utterly ridiculous, but I can't call cap on it because Diddy has given us nothing that could encourage us to believe what the fuck he's saying, right?
I don't believe it, man. First and foremost, they would have to do a lot of interviews and interrogations on these people. Talk with them when, where, why, how. Do you ever think he ever gonna have a hearing? Is he ever gonna go to court? You know how long it would take to interview 120 people on a essay case? That's a lot of interviewing, bro. That's not happening. There's no way in this earth that that they say 120 people was victimized by this dude. It's no way. I don't believe it. They probably don't believe it. I think they just opened the floodgates or something like that. How did they get 120 people to come forward this quick?
He didn't really go into detail like that. He just said that it was 120 people, including minors. But he did say one of the minors gave Diddy fellatio.
Oh my God, man, listen here. And he trying to get bail, he trying to come home? Nah, If any of that is halfway true, bruh, I don't know what the hell to think. All I know is that there's no way in hell that they got 120 some people ready to come to court and sue them. Listen, what they gonna do? A class action lawsuit? They're gonna put them all together in one bundle and sue him, his companies, everything, because they can't sue them individually. Because if you sue him, I don't think there's enough money to sue 120 people to sue him individually. So it's crazy that I just don't believe, bro. And that's hard to fathom. 120 people that came forward outside the 50 people that was last week, or that's with.
Nah, this is one lawyer with 120 people.
So that's 170 people all together, bro. It's no way. It can't be that much sexual assault in the world. It's no way.
I'm actually surprised Gene is saying this. Gene, you told us this. You told us that you believed you were in the presence of spiked drinks and bottles and how Diddy was operating. Why would you be so shocked that it would be 100 people if, according to you, this guy was doing some of this stuff and he's a celebrity with a lot of money and power? Like, why you got to pick a side. Are you saying that he's a monster, but not that big of a monster? Like, why does it shock? Like, Gene Deal sat here and told us every reason why, that if somebody told us that Diddy sexually assaulted 1,000 people, we would be like, okay. Like, you gave us every reason. You told us about his systematic way of allegedly, potentially drugging women, how he had y'all, the bodyguards, outside protecting the atmosphere of the freak-offs. Why would we be shocked that it's 120? Now, I do believe what's happening also is that Gene Deal is realizing what probably just happened to the Big Joe nigga. When these people come forward with these lawsuits, whether they're truthful or not, to make them seem like they have more credence, they're going to just throw people's names in it. Or maybe they're telling the truth. Again, I will say this to Gene Deal. You can't be a halfway whistleblower, sir. You have been the biggest whistleblower for Diddy. You told us why he was a monster. You told us he was a monster first. Unfortunately, it looks crazy when you're saying, he ain't that much of a monster. I don't believe that. What do you mean?
What was that? Who was one of the maskers of all time? He outdid Jack the Ripper. He outdid Jack the Ripper, man. The Boston Strangler. He just don't have no bodies that we know about. That's crazy, man. I don't believe that, Mighty. I really don't. I don't think that you can legitimately get 120 people to say that Sean John Combs molested them. I don't believe that.
So you don't believe it, you personally? Because, I mean, Diddy, he has been throwing parties since the 90s.
But you talking about somebody saying that he sexually assaulted them.
Well, I think also what Gene Deal is forgetting is that, let's think about the Lil Rod lawsuit. Lil Rod said that Diddy sexually harassed him, never said Diddy assaulted him. In fact, he claims any sexual assault or battery came from women. He said the women fucked him, and he ain't want to fuck them. That's what Lil Rod said. Lil Rod never said that Diddy penetrated his booty hole. He never said that. So what happens is that if what Gene Deal is saying, I think he needs to understand that any impropriety that happened at Diddy's parties, whether it contained Diddy or not, Diddy is going to be in the lawsuit for. A girl who feels like she got R-worded by, who knows, the butler, the security guard, the driver, the mans of the mans, Diddy's name is going to be in the lawsuit. So this 120 don't mean that Diddy necessarily R-worded all 120 of them. What it usually means is that all this happened at a Diddy party. So again, if there was so many Diddy parties that everybody has a different recollection, I could see it could be 120 victims.
What do they consider sexually assault? They had to go there and see and speak with the people and interview them and see if, they may consider some of that being consensual. They may think some of the people don't have a case. What if somebody say he touched my butt? He pat me on my butt. That could have been an accident. He brushed up against me. We don't know what these people are saying. On this one, bruh, I'm giving Puff the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to throw it out the window. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe 120 people, he sexually assaulted 120 people. And they have these people as legitimate witness and legitimate cases against them. I'm going to go with that, man.
Yeah, and the same lawyer, he came out with a hotline for the victims.
They got a hotline, bro.
Yeah, it's a hotline you can call.
I don't believe that shit. A hotline? My man, listen to me. Do they have a hotline or the federal government have a hotline? Because the federal government didn't have a hotline since FEMA. And nobody put a hotline out on the Catholic Church when the Catholic Church molested those little boys. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody put a hotline on a WWF when Vince McMahon and them was doing their thing to their co-workers and everything like that. They got a hotline on Diddy, man.
Yeah, it's a number out there. We can call it right now. I think I seen it on 50 page. You got your phone on you? We can call it right now.
Man, I keep my phone on me. You don't go. That's like American Express. You don't leave home without your phone. What's the number, man?
1-800 200.
If you agree to provide accurate information to the best of your knowledge under penalty of perjury, please press 1. Otherwise, please disconnect the phone call now.
Man, get out of here. Oh my God. My man, they didn't have a hotline for the Catholic priests, bro. That's crazy. But did they, oh my God, a hotline. No wonder they got 120 people. You got to believe some of that shit is bogus, man.
Anyway, I'll play this. And apparently Jay Prince is being accused of being associated to some of the claims of Diddy. Like Jay Prince is setting Diddy up. We'll get to that.
Baby oil at Diddy house might be laced. What makes you say that?
Well, what I said is that isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You got to realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put it past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that. They got to test every last one of them. Let's see how much, let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
All right. So going back to we played this like a couple days ago. Way up. Is it this? No, I don't know if this is it. So the guy, another bodyguard, Big Joe, actually implicated. He said it was Jay Prince who he saw behind this shit.
And broke off their engagement. Okay, because we have Megan Kuhn. There's also a new judge on Diddy's criminal.
No, where is it at? Joe Sherman, Jay Prince.
Right, hip hop heads gathered this week, Houston.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's to beef 120.
Right. She tried.
We'll talk right there.
Not only did she DM me, she tried to guide me through the DMs. If you read them,
Right.
She tried to explain to me, all I need you to do is write a statement like Bonds did, like other people did. I need you to write a statement and I'll keep you out. I said, keep me out of what? But then she got into the threats. Then she brought up, well, me and Mr. J. Prince will be down there.
All right, now
Big Joe said it was brought to my attention that Jay Prince had a beef about Puffy slapping Drake. Drake was calling Jay Prince, going off on him for not taking his side against Puffy. Big Joe believes Jay Prince is one of the main culprits behind trying to destroy Puff's.
Now, this shit ain't making no sense no more. Jay Prince don't get along with Jay-Z. Y'all remember Jay Prince calling out Jay-Z for Meg Thee Stallion and 1501. Now, we're hearing that Jay-Z's trying to take down Diddy. Now we're hearing this Jay Prince. Jay Prince is not, with all due respect to him, he's not relevant in the music game right now. Why the hell would he need to take down Diddy in this type of elaborate thing? Also, here's the thing about this whole thing about taking down somebody with sexual assault or sex trafficking allegations. That's one of the things that most men want to stay away from. Because here's the thing. Just as easy as you trump up or highlight something about another man when it comes to that, somebody, whether baselessly or not, they could accuse you of the same shit and put you in the same boat. So I can't see this being the angle that Jay Prince would want to take, even if he did want to take down Diddy. It just doesn't make sense to me. But then I did do some research about it. And I was like, all right, let's look into it. Tony Busby, Jay Prince. Now, Tony Busby is from Houston. Jay Prince runs Houston. Have they ever been in a lawsuit together? I Googled it. And by the way, here we go. I think this is what it was.
right now, the thing about Big Joe is he's very adamant that he is not in it.
Not going.
You know, some people would be like, "Oh, did a lawyer tell you not to say anything?" He's like, "I don't care. I didn't do it. I'm not there." He has text messages between them that he wants to make sure that people know about and can see, because from the text messages, and Mano, you know what it says because you know,
right? The DMs that she sent him.
Basically, it seems like she's trying to confirm that he worked with Puff. And then also confirm that there was a video shown on a camcorder. And he's like, and she also says, if you're not the same person, then I apologize. She said. So it seems like she's not sure if Big Joe was the person that she's alleging is on this tape. Now, Big Joe called us because, you know, clearly this is something that if you feel that you're being wrongly accused of something, you're going to defend yourself.
Saying it loud.
To the utmost. And here's what he had to say about this alleged tape and the conversation with Dahlia Graves.
Not only did she DM me, she tried to guide me through the DMs, if you read them. She tried to explain to me, all I need you to do is write a statement like Bonds did, like other people did. I need you to write a statement and I'll keep you out. I said, keep me out of what? But then she got into the threats. Then she brought up, Well, me and Mr. J. Prince will be down there.
All right, now I don't know what Jay Prince has to do with anything.
Right.
But you had a question for him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What he got to do with this, though?
It was brought to my attention later on that Jay Prince, something I don't know about, had a beef with Puffy about slapping Drake. And Drake was calling Jay Prince, going off of him for not taking up for him against Puffy. And I'm like, that's none of my business. Honestly, after listening and people calling me, explaining to me that Jay Prince's lawyer is the one who put them 100 people together, I think Jay Prince is one of the main corpus behind slandering and trying to destroy Puff's character.
Okay. Now, I happen to get to the Tony Busby's law firm website. And I was trying to look into it. Do they have any ties to Jay Prince? And I couldn't find one. They have represented a lot of people, including the governor. They have represented, BP Valero. They have represented Shell. They have represented a lot of, really high profile and, huge companies. And what we couldn't find, Alvin Kamara, what we couldn't find is anything to do with the Prince family. James Prince Jr., we couldn't find any of those things. I don't know if anyone has any details that could pinpoint these guys to being associated with Jay Prince, but it felt like there was no association here. Now, again, not doubting this guy because he's claiming he got information and he seems to tie it to some real shit. The whole Drake shit, Diddy, Jay Prince, who knows? Maybe that's real. I was trying to get this guy on for the stream. I couldn't find him. This Big Joe guy just went ghost. It's either this nigga is capping and he's trying to create an alibi for himself and trying to throw the scent off, or like he's saying, it appears that this woman wanted him to be a part of her case and he said no and they came after him. Which is it? I don't know. I have no idea right now. But I couldn't find any link to Jay Prince with this lawyer. And I looked. I couldn't find anything at all. Tony Busby, Jay Prince. I couldn't find it. Not at all. Yeah. I couldn't find it at all.
May it please the court.
Yeah. Couldn't find it at all, Chad. Not gonna lie to you. Okay. So, we essentially just don't know the extent, and we have zero proof. And what I don't want to get into is just, trying to make everybody look like they're guilty. It's one thing if we have a situation like Takeoff dies in a spot that was a party was thrown by Jay Prince Jr. And obviously in that situation, you want to look at Jay Prince Jr. and also his pops and what Rap-A-Lot got going on, because it felt like they were more incentivized to try to cover it up, maybe because they had an illegal dice game going on in there, maybe because some other shit, maybe because one of the guys who may have done it was one of their people. It felt like that they had a tie to that. This shit right here, I cannot find any link to Jay Prince Jr. or Jay Prince actually with this particular lawyer. So I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words. All right.
My sentiments exactly.
I'll play this and then we'll go on to the DDG stuff, then Offset, all right?
Exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No. They just walk out the people who are being arrested. If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle.
Okay. And Gene Deal did give a little bit more details on the Big Joe stuff.
The one that ends up testifying against Keefe D, because right now everybody thinks Keefe D is snitching on Diddy.
I think Keefe D, I don't believe that he's snitching on Diddy. He's just going by a plan.
Here we go.
The loss.
Let's get to the Big Joe part.
Joseph Stewart.
Here we go.
Right, I don't think they have anything concrete. They don't.
They don't have anything
You're absolutely
concrete.
right about that part. Okay, now one of the things that you mentioned was Big Joe.
I mentioned Big Joe.
Yes, I don't know much about the Big Joe situation.
I never mentioned Big Joe. I mentioned that the girl and the bodyguard who they said was Joseph Stewart. Now, he's known as Big Joe. Even, I think, who was that? Yeah, that was Black Rob. Said it in his own video. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me go get the G.I. Joe. In that song, Whoa. You understand? So, the young lady, she contacted me. It has to be up to 9 months in a year, 9 months to a year almost ago. And that's the young lady who has said that Diddy and Joseph Stewart, as was told, I think the people know him as Big Joe. She contacted me. She said, yo, Gene, gave me her credentials, told me who she was friends with. She mentioned that she was close to a rap mogul. They were friends. I won't mention his name. She said that there's a tape out there that showed Sean Puffy Combs, aka Brother Love, Diddy, Puffy, and a security personnel named Joe, Big Joe. There's a tape out there when they were sexually assaulting me. I know it ain't you, Gene, but I need to know if you could help me. I don't want to do anything to Joe. This is what she told me. I just want the tape so I can give to my lawyer, because I'm going to go after Puff. She told me that. I told her that.
You know, the more time goes on, you know, I think Gene Deal, and a lot of people give him credit because like his story usually is consistent and stays the same. It's kind of a sign of a guy who's being truthful. At some point, Gene Deal is going to be pulled into all these lawsuits. I mean, shit, he's one of the most vocal people. He's been around for a significant part of the time that, you know, some of these people have accusations of Diddy, and they're going to want to talk to him. So, you know, I don't know if that was the intended reason why he spoke out, but definitely, like, shit, what he's saying right here, you're going to have to testify to, brother.
I'll see what I can do. I so happily seen Joe in the street. I didn't call him or nothing like that. I seen Joe, and Joe said he didn't know anything about it. He said he didn't know anything about it, and that was it. I went back to the young lady. I told her, I spoke to Joe. He said he didn't know anything about it. I gave him, I don't know if I gave him his number or whatever like that, but she said, okay, Gene. She thanked me, and 9 months to a year later, I see this thing come out that she's accusing Joe and Puff of sexually assaulting her.
Right, I just seen this story, just broke.
Yeah, so we'll see. It appears that either that guy is really guilty or is really innocent. And we'll find out. Jean seems to be kind of corroborating certain things, even though I think she was saying that, not that it was going to be interesting. I think at no point the woman said, you're innocent. I think the woman said, I just won't sue you. Right? But I don't think the woman ever said, I don't think you're guilty, or I don't think you did nothing. But clearly, I think the woman said, I'll just leave you out of the lawsuit because I'm trying to get money, and the guy who has the money ain't you. So if you help me, I'll get him. And I guess he didn't help her. So she's like, all right, bet, I'm going to sue you too. So even though Gene Deal and even this Big Joe guy is going to probably show up to court with proof saying, hey, this woman literally was just trying to get Diddy, a judge might still say, well, even though she said these things to you, none of what she said to you meant she thought you were innocent in the whole matter. Whoever she chooses to sue is up to her. I would guess. I don't know. All right? I do got Asian Doll number. Yo, chat, I'm going to try to call Asian Doll. Chat. I did get Asian Doll number. Oh man. All right, chat. Yo, she hates my guts. I think she gonna hang up when I call her. I'm calling her private though. Let me see if she answers. Come on, answer now. Stop playing, Asian. Queen Vaughn, get on the phone. Stop playing.
Your call has been forwarded.
One more time. Might be on Do Not Disturb. Let's get it. Come on. Yo, Asian. I say Asian. Yo, Asian Doll.
Your call has...
All right, man. I'm going to call one more time. 3 is wildin' though, right? Fuck it. Yo. Yo, 3, I'm pressed. I ain't gonna lie. Bruv, come on. Nah, she ain't finna answer, bro. She ain't about to answer. She ain't finna answer.
Your call has been forwarded to voice. To read.
Okay. All right, okay. That other number, I got 2 numbers. The other number did call me back, but I don't know who that was. It's all good. I ain't tripping. Okay, people. All good with me. What should we get on to next? If we're not getting back to the 2C stuff, we could get to DDG, or we could get to Cardi B real quick. Y'all want to get to Cardi B before DDG? DDG or Cardi B? I pick. DDG or Cardi B? What we doing? DDG or Cardi B? Oh, I should call on FaceTime? Yeah. I hope she don't get... I don't want to call on FaceTime because she be seeming so ratchet. I feel like she'll leak my number like when she get mad at me next. And I know for sure me and her gonna be beefing like next week, bro. Like me and H, like there's a few people like I know we constantly get into it. I don't even take it serious at this point. I just get my jokes off and do me and let them do them. You know what I mean? But I think she the type of person like, yo, oh yeah, I call him right now.
Everyone knows every time Diddy's name comes up in something, it's always some freaky issue by the sea, man. Now, in what's new, you feel me? Now, new information's coming out. Diddy lost a lawsuit where he essentially owes $100-something million. That person, I'm not gonna lie, bro, you're never seeing that money. It's sad to say. You're never ever seeing that money ever. Yeah. It's the diddler. You're never seeing that money. Got some of the best lawyers in the world. He's a billionaire. Still supposedly. You feel me? He's liquidating his assets now. Selling houses and doing all that. But bro, you're not seeing any money. Like Diddy's the only reason he won the case because Diddy just never went to court. That's it. But it's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you guys feel about everything. And I'm out.